and welcome to the channel. And today's video is going to be a look at my custom 1989 McFarlane Batman figures. So one is a well, I mean, they're both customs, but one is a you could say a reworking of an old a previous McFarlane figure, and one is just a custom from a previous figure, if that makes sense. One is a rework of a Three Jokers Batman, and the other one is a rework of the previously released Michael Keaton 89 Batman. There, I just said it. I wasn't clear enough in how to reword it. But before, excuse me, before we look at those, I just wanted to post an update on the Mezco figure that you see there in the middle. So in my review that I posted a few, well, depending on when I upload this video, it could be a few days or about a week or so. But when I put my review for the Mezco figure, I explained that I had my issues with regards to posing the legs. So I just wanted to do a quick follow-up on that as I was editing the video and replaying it just to check, you know, whatever comments I needed to add and all of that. I was messing with the figure and I noticed something curious. So let me I'm gonna put these guys out to this side for just one moment. We'll get to these guys in a second. So I just wanted to mention for this guy, so I had mentioned how the legs would just, when I put them up, they would spring all the way back. So as you can see, he's holding a pose. Right, he's holding the pose. He's holding the pose. He's holding the pose. So I guess what I was there you see some of the springing action. I guess what I was doing during the review was, you know, as you saw me, I was going, I don't know, it's not doing the springing thing anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if the figure was finicky that day or what, but you can see now that somehow, some way, this one is a little loose. You can see. You see, this is what it was doing. This is what it was doing during the review. But if I go at it slowly, you can see this one is not holding up much like this leg over here. But if I go at it slowly, it should hold up the pose. Well, this leg is not doing the same as this one. This one is definitely still springy. So there's still something going on with this figure that I'm not entirely sure what is going on. You can do a figure 4. But for some reason this leg, I can hold it up. But this one is still springing back. So I don't know, this thing is still pretty messed up. You can see now it's well, kind of sort of holding its pose. I don't know, it's still a little weird. It still springs back, but this one's a little more, I don't know, still a screwy thing. I thought that by going slower, because of the rubber and me going fast, it's doing the springing action, but you saw that it was able to hold the pose. So I don't know what the hell is going on with this figure. That's why I say that it sucks. It's just inconsistent. So I just wanted to post an update regarding that. You know, that you can't get it to pose if you just go at it slowly. And also the cape thing, like I mentioned, all I do is just add a bobby pin to the back, and now the cape looks a little more better. Okay, anyway, on to the main course here. So here we have my custom McFarlane 1989 Batmans. Like I said, so the one on the left is a custom from the 89 Batman that came with the Batmobile, and the one on the right is a repaint of Three Jokers Batman with obviously a new cowl. We'll look at the Keaton Batman, the 89, the proper 89 Batman last, and we'll take a quick look at this guy first. So in the previous video, excuse me, I mentioned that I was trying to figure out how I was going to do the whole cowl for that figure. I showed you that I had made the custom lower portion, the one that has all of these little spiky things. I don't even know where I left them anymore, so they're not even near me right now, so I can't show you. But anyway, I mentioned that I had done those, or that piece, and I was going to use the neck piece from the Detective Comics 1000, the blue version. That I would repaint that and use that in conjunction with that new cowl piece. After doing some testing and all of that, obviously you can see that I went in a different direction, which was one of the things that I had mentioned that I thought of maybe doing, which was once I removed and customized the 89 Keaton Batman, that I could probably use that cowl and headpiece for this one. But obviously one of the things that was holding it back was that it had a the molding on the Three Jokers Batman was just too different for it to look proper. Give me just 1 second, because I'll bring up the piece for an example. Okay, it's a good thing I still had that extra Three Jokers Batman that I can still use as an example. So this guy has these, I believe they're the traps, right? The neck muscles are super high on this figure, and then obviously I had to modify the neck portion for this guy as well. So one of the things that I had mentioned that I would have to do in order to fit the cowl piece from the 89 Batman, that this would have to be trimmed down, which is exactly what I ended up doing on this guy. Let me raise the camera just a little bit here so I can get a better angle. And I can show you how it is that I attached the cowl piece, because it is attached. Right, it's attached. There is no glue whatsoever. It's all held in by friction. So this is just the cape from the 89 Batman. I haven't done a custom cape on this guy just yet. So you can see now the difference between my custom and the standard 3 Jokers Batman. You can see how much I had to trim off the top in order for the to fit the cowl. And the way that I'm attaching the cowl is through this makeshift peg that I made using a piece of a sprue from a model kit. So I drilled into this little remember that I call it a stump. So I drilled into the stump, and then with I took a piece of a sprue from a model kit, like I said, just plugged it in and gave it a slight curve. You can see it's in a bit of a curve. I added some super glue and some nail polish just to thicken this piece up in order to add that necessary friction for it to hold in place. And then on the figure itself, I also drilled into the base here, so in order to accommodate the fitment of the peg. Again, I also put in some nail polish in there to thicken that up a little bit. And now you can see how this fits in place. Looking from the side, he's got a slight hunch. It's not the neck is not 100 like a 90-degree, right? It's sitting a little lurched a little forward. If you compare that to the actual 3 Jokers, he's leaning way more forward, right? And because of that, that was one of the reasons why the piece here at the front that is usually covered by the bat symbol, or it's jointed. I'm sorry, it's this curve here butts into the symbol on his chest, right, like this. But because of if I went even lower, if I had cut down even lower, I was going to eventually cut down into the you can see how close I am to the shoulders here on the figure. All right, I would have probably eventually cut into the butterfly portion of the plastic, so I left about a millimeter or so of thickness right there. Right, so if I had gone any lower to get this piece to butt like this, the head would have needed to be leaning way almost like the proper 3 Jokers, but I didn't want to do that, so the piece is slightly separated right there. And I may even do some molding with epoxy and maybe just extend this out a little bit, and fill in that little gap. Maybe that's something. It's not something that worries me so much, but if it does in the future, that's probably something that I'll do. And the cape would just simply attach through the hole that's on the cape. Like I said, this is one of the capes from the '89 Batman. Or when I do his proper cape, I'm just gonna do a small hole to fit into the peg instead of having this giant size peg. Or, I'm sorry, giant size hole on the cape. But there you go. But yeah, like I said, he's held on pretty well, right? That peg thickened up just nicely with that with the added layer of super glue and nail polish. The paint that I used on this guy, I had mentioned previously that I thought I mentioned I used the Duplicolor vinyl and fabric spray paint, but no, the one that I used, now that I remember, I used the VHT, which is a family brand of Duplicolor. But I remember, now that I know, I remember I used the VHT for plastics. Their specialty paint for plastics. So that's what I used on this guy, because this, now that I remember, this paint is a little more, you can see there's more shine on it. It's not as dull. I've used the Duplicolor. The Duplicolor is a little more flat, a little more dull than this one. So this is what, that's why I remembered that I used the VHT paint on this one. And one other thing that I added on the figure, just to make him pop, I added a gloss to the shin guards here and on the and by the here by the ankle, and added gloss to the to his gauntlets. But yeah, all of this fully repainted. The belt is still the original color. Same for the bat symbol. But you still get slight butterfly because of the added layer of paint. But that's fine. I don't need to use the butterfly a lot. But yeah, and then you know, it's still got all the range of motion and everything. So that VHT paint is also very durable. So I mean, again, it's not 100% foolproof that it won't peel off or flake off when, you know, when certain parts, you know, meet. But for the most part, it does hold up. You can see some. You can see some. That's from the. I believe that's from the top coat of clear. But yeah, there you go. That's the so that's the custom using the Three Jokers figure. So if you want to make your own version of a 89 Batman, you can. With a lot of modifications, you can apply a different cowl. You're just gonna have to trim off a lot of that meat up here by the shoulders. And now for, I think, the one that everybody was hoping to eventually see, the proper 89 Batman with the Mezco 112 head sculpt. So other than just doing the head swap, I also applied a dull coat to the entire figure to give it a completely matte finish. Although you still see some shine, but it's not as shiny as this. And again, just so I didn't forget, that's the because that's the one from the one that comes with the Batmobile with the gold chest emblem. For comparison, for a full look, here's the one that comes with the 6-pack, the movie 6-pack, the ultimate movie 6-pack. And yeah, I think a lot of people would agree that although the figure, the Mezco figure, you know, it's not the greatest, the head sculpt is. And I think a lot of people were disappointed with the head sculpt from the McFarlane. So a lot of people were doing this custom. And again, as I explained in the Mezco video, one of the main reasons why I bought it. So how did I do this? Well, it is attached by magnets. So the magnet is still there. The cape is also attached by the magnet. I have a ring in there that I glued on to keep it in place where I wanted to. I mean, the magnet that I bought isn't the strongest. It's not as equally as strong as the ones that come with the Mezco, but it's strong. I mean, you can see the move. You saw how the figure moved, right? So it's a strong magnet. Also, the magnet is a little larger than the diameter for the one that comes with the Mezco. The Mezco has a diameter of 7 millimeters, so this is about twice as large. So obviously I had to Dremel out sufficient room to fit it in. Here's how it looks from the back. And then I filled in the area where I pulled out the chest logo. I just filled it in with hot glue and just melted it and let it settle there. And then just painted it black. And then the entire figure got, like I said, an entire dull coat of what's the I believe it's the Krylon. Yeah, the Krylon matte finish. I'm thinking of doing the same thing like on the shin pads on this guy, or maybe on this guy. I'll probably do it on this guy. One that have a completely dull, and then one with the shiny padding. Now speaking of shiny and all of that, so I also brought out this head sculpt, the one that has the damaged, the battle damage. So this is the standard one that I'm going to use, and this one is probably for a future custom. But the reason that I brought this one out is I applied the dull coat on this one as well. And this is just a standard untreated Mezco head. And because again, there's a difference in the plastics, right? So the way this one's completely black, and this one you can see from the light reflection has a tint of blue. So so I just wanted to dull down the shine on this one, and I applied it on this one as a test. And you can see it's pretty much still shiny. So I mean, if we compare the reflections, it's pretty much the same, even though this one does have a dull coat on top, or a matte finish on top. So there's not much of a difference, really. Excuse me. But that's how it looks. So yeah, everything attaches like normal. All right. And like I said, the cape has just a clip. I found some wire, and I just glued that on there where I wanted it to place it in the position on top of the ring here, or for the magnet. So that attaches there where I want it. And since the diameter is larger, it is held in place by the smaller magnet here. So the ring is larger than the diameter of the magnet, so that helps keep it in place. And there we have our custom 1989 Keaton Batman, the way it should have been released by McFarlane in the first place, with the one-piece cowl. So granted, McFarlane wasn't gonna release a super hyper detailed, let me just again bring him in for comparison. wasn't gonna do. I mean, not that the head sculpt that he did give us is bad, but I think a lot of people still say that it could have been better. Um, if you compare it to the other head sculpts that he released for the Ultimate Movie pack, like for instance, the Val Kilmer has a nice resemblance to him. The Clooney absolutely has a great resemblance to him. So the just the Keaton resemblance had some of that lacking. You just look at him, from side to side, you can see not only that, but the shape of the cowl itself is different. So I mean, not to mention the whole neck articulation thing, right? But yeah, hopefully by the time McFarlane ever comes around and does a wave of Batman Returns figures, he might go this route and give us the one-piece neck and a proper, sculpting, Michael Keaton sculpting and cowl, right? Instead of opting of giving us neck articulation, right? Because the Batman Returns suit is an upgrade from the first one, and the cowl itself looks really really cool. It's not as roundish as the '89 one. It's a little more straight on. So yeah, that's that's about it for this guy. So yeah, so again, this is not a mod that is new, or I'm not reinventing anything, right? A lot of people have been doing this. People have just gone about it differently. Again, some have used magnets and whatnot. The only thing that I've additional on my end was how I attached the cape by adding the the wired ring around so that it would be held in place. But basically, a lot of people have been doing the same thing, just adding a magnet to the base of the figure of the neck. This one's the more involved custom for sure. A lot of working for the to fit the neck piece, and obviously it's a complete repaint. Adding all of the black and all of that. So since the black of the cowl is not an exact match, I'm gonna probably have to go and repaint that to match the same color. Excuse me. And yeah, just add those finishing touches, give him a proper cape that goes all the way up to the front. Like I said, like I like how I like my Keaton Batmans, with the cape going all the way up to the front. But yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to say except that I think finally now I have the my proper Keaton Batman, which has added posability, except for I think where most people feel like it's not needed, the neck. But if you want a more posable one, then there's this option, right? And then this guy is coming up next. So what I had mentioned when I was doing my review, that since I believe I mentioned it when I did the review for this guy, the two pack with the Batmobile. Since I got this guy first and then this guy second, that I was planning on maybe doing this guy in the blue and gray version, since that's one of the suits that showed up during the Flash movie. But instead, I'm pivoting, since when I recorded that video, I still didn't have the Mezco figure, but now that I do, obviously, I'm gonna do the same custom on this guy that I did on this guy. Fit him with one of the other heads that the Mezco has, the one with a slightly more open mouth. And then there's gonna be a third one down the line where I can use this head. Maybe I'll customize Maybe I'll customize this guy, although I'm gonna have to find a new lower part for him, because I used his lower half basically to make this guy. So, or maybe down the line, you know, McFarlane releases the single release of this guy, and then I can do the third custom and use this one, a proper battle damaged, you know, with the suit torn in places and all of that. So that could be an option as well. But yeah, so finally, yeah, this custom has been finished, you know, almost finished for months now. Like I said, all I was hoping to get was the proper material for a cape. But since I can't find the material, I'm just gonna go with cloth like I did on this guy. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, see you in the next one.